Hey guys, thanks for cooking with Tammy. Today I'm going to show you how to make a sausage, egg, and cheese quiche with a roasted red pepper aioli sauce. Guys, I need to let you know from now, this recipe is so delicious, it's to die for. With that being said guys, let's get started. We're going to need 6 to 7 large eggs. I'm using a 4-cheese Mexican blend, which consists of cheddar cheese, asadero, Monterey, and queso quesadilla cheese. I chose this blend of cheeses because it has so many different flavors, but it's going to tie together really nicely once the recipe is completed. As well as 5 ounces of turkey sausage. However, feel free to use whatever sausage you prefer. 2 medium potatoes, as well as salt to taste. For our roasted red pepper aioli sauce, I'm going to use 1 red pepper, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 cup of mayo, a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika, a Ziploc bag or a squeezy bottle, as well as a skewer, a spatula and a brush, and 1 cupcake pan. If you don't have a cupcake pan, feel free to use a meatloaf pan or a bread pan. Let's get started with our preparation. We're going to start by preheating our oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to cut our potatoes into small cube-sized pieces. Once we're finished with our potatoes, we're going to cut our sausages into cube-sized pieces as well. This is going to help with the cooking process. It would allow it to cook much faster. Also, it would make it easier when it comes to fitting it into the cupcake pan. When that's finished, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of olive oil to our pan. And we're going to add our potatoes first because they do take a little bit longer to cook. Once the potatoes are about halfway cooked, we're going to add the sausages to the pan. Allow the sausages to become brown. Once they're brown, we're going to turn the stove off and remove the skillet from the stove top and allow the potato and sausage mixture to cool for a little bit. Moving on to our eggs, guys. We're going to whisk our eggs really well until they're not only light in color, but light in texture as well. We're also going to add salt to the eggs to taste, but be mindful not to add too much salt because our sausage already contains salt. Taking the cupcake pan, we're going to add a pinch of cheese to the pan first. Then we're going to add our potato and sausage mixture to the pan as well. And then we're going to take our liquid egg mixture and pour it on top of our sausage and potato and cheese mixture. Be sure to shake and tap your pan lightly to assure that the egg mixture goes to the bottom of the pan to coat all of the ingredients at the bottom. Be sure to top your eggs with cheese. And if there's any spillage, just take a paper towel and wipe it off like I'm doing. We're going to place it into the oven at 375 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. Depending on your oven, be cautious to check after 15 minutes. Okay guys, so it's been about 20 minutes since my quiche has been in the oven and I just removed it and this is what it looks like. It's now time, guys, to move on to making our roasted red pepper aioli sauce. First things first, guys, I'm going to take my skewer, place it directly into the red pepper, and that's going to provide stability when holding the red pepper. I'm then going to take my brush, dip it into some olive oil, and paint my red pepper with olive oil. Don't be afraid, guys, lubricate that red pepper. Once I'm done, I'm going to turn my stove on low to medium heat. And then I'm going to place my red pepper directly on top of the stovetop. Yes, guys, directly on top of the stovetop. That's why I said low flame to medium heat. I don't want to cause no problems. Once the red pepper is on my stovetop, I'm just going to leave it there for a couple of seconds on each side. But however, don't walk away from that red pepper. Because remember, it has olive oil or whatever oil you decide to use, so I wouldn't suggest walking away from it. And we're just going to turn it and rotate it from side to side. What we're looking for is like charred, I wouldn't say grill, but like charred marks all over the red pepper. pretty much burnt. But no worries, because even though it may appear burnt or charred on the outside, once you take that top layer of skin off, trust me, underneath is going to be A-okay. And yes, this is the quickest and fastest way to roast a bell pepper. I just love making aioli sauces. I've tried so many different variations of aioli sauces. And to be honest with you guys, it just complements like all of my dishes. My husband is like so crazy about especially the roasted red pepper aioli sauce. And the eggplant aioli sauce that I came up with. He like literally uses it on everything that he eats. It's so delicious, guys. You got to give it a try. I'm going to let it go for about maybe like 1 to 2 more minutes because I'm looking for it to be like literally charred all over. The more charred your pepper becomes is the more roasted flavor you're going to receive when making your aioli sauce. I've taken my charred roasted red pepper and I've placed it under cold running water, and that's going to help with removing the top layer. Once I'm finished, I'm going to take my red pepper and place it onto a paper towel and pat it dry, and place it on my cutting board to remove the skewer. Cut it in half, drain off the excess water, and remove the seeds as well as the membranes. Moving on to the finalization process, guys. I'm going to add 1 cup of mayo to my food processor, a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper for spice, and 1 teaspoon of paprika for a nice hint of smoky flavor, as well as my roasted red peppers. Once I'm done, I'm going to blitz it for about 5 seconds. If by any chance I realize that my ingredients are not being combined, I'm going to stop the blitzing process and take my spatula and mix all of the ingredients together and restart the blitzing process again until a nice smooth creamy sauce is achieved. Once it comes down to storage of my roasted red pepper aioli sauce, I usually store it in a squeezy bottle. However, if you don't have a squeezy bottle, that's why I mentioned a Ziploc bag. You're not going to pour all of the contents into a Ziploc bag unless you're using all of it at one time. But to make piping easier, you can place it into a Ziploc bag, cut a small piece of plastic off of the bag, and just use that as a piping method to make it easier to pipe it onto your food. Okay guys, so it's now time to put everything together, and as you can see, just as I did, this is the finalized and finished product. As always guys, enjoy and be sure to make this for your next Sunday brunch. As always, thanks to Cooking with Tammy. Until next time, don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe.